Hey y'all, today I'm going to show you how I make and can apple butter. If you've never had apple butter before, first off, it's not really butter. It's more of a spread or a jam. It's one of my favorite things to make. I give it away for gifts and neighbors. I give it to neighbors and friends and they love it. Also, if you're beginning canning, this is really one of the best recipes to start with. You can't really mess it up. It's pretty basic. There's only a few ingredients, so let's go ahead and get started. First of all, you can use any variety of apples that you want to use. This batch I used Granny Smith, and then I also used some Red Delicious. You can mix and match all you want. I've found that the tartar apples, like the Granny Smith, seem to work better for me. I like the taste of them, but I do mix other apples in with it, but predominantly Granny Smith. We are going to be adding a lot of sugar to it, so I like the tart with the sugar to it. But one of the things that you need, you don't really need it, but it sure makes it a lot easier, is one of these things right here. This is an apple core peeler, and mine just sits on the counter, locks into place. I'm going to show you real quick how to use it. If you have kids or anything like that, they love playing with this too. But you have a little handle there that you're going to turn, and you take the end of the apple, stick it in here, and then this part here is going to peel it, and this will core it. So it has a little lever or a little button on the other side, and just scoot it up, and then start cranking it. Alright, and then now you have a cored and peeled apple. What I'll do is I'll take a knife and I'll cut it down the middle, and then you just have half slices here. And you want to just check to make sure you don't have any seeds or any bugs or anything like that. And then I take the skin and the apple and I put it in a big pot. Now I used 9 pounds of apples, so that's quite a bit of apples, and I used the skin as well, like I said, and I filled it up. This whole pot was full, and then it had just covered with water, and you want to put it on high heat until it starts boiling, and then you're going to slowly turn the heat down. Basically, once it starts boiling, you want to just keep a simmer on it, so you need to move it down as the water evaporates. Once you get a good consistency, the consistency really is going to be like an applesauce. You want to make sure that you constantly stir this. You do not want to get it scalding, because you don't want it to scald in the bottom of the pan and of course ruin your apple butter. What I do is after about 30-45 minutes, I take an immersion blender and I just mix it all like that. And then once you do that, you'll get this consistency. What I do then is I take, for this amount, I have 9 pounds of apples, so it's going to be about 16 cups, I think, what it's rendered down to. And for that, I'm going to use 8 cups of sugar. That sounds like a lot of sugar because it is a lot of sugar. It's actually less than a lot of the recipes call for. I can also, or I guess I should say, you can also, man, that looks like a lot of sugar. You can also, what am I trying to say here? Oh, you can taste it as you go on, and if you need to add more sugar or less sugar, you just taste it and see what you think. And I'm going to set the camera down so I can do this a little bit easier. Alright, so I put 8 cups of sugar in this mix, and then I'm going to use ground cinnamon. And I'm going to put 4 tablespoons of ground cinnamon. And then I'm going to mix 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. Now, if you want, you can stop there. The other ingredients that I use are cloves and allspice. Cloves are a pretty strong flavor. I don't use a lot of them. Some people don't like it, and allspice is another one that kind of some people really aren't keen on, but I like them in the apple butter. So I use 1 teaspoon of allspice, and then I'm going to use just half of a teaspoon of clove. And that's really it. You just mix it up. And of course the color's going to change from what I had it, and I'm going to show you that too real quick. You want to make sure you get it mixed up real good, and I will cook it for a little longer just to let the seasoning and the spices get mixed up in it real well. Probably about 15 minutes. There. Now, what you want to do is you want to check the consistency and the flavor. The sugar for me is fine, and the flavoring is actually really, really good. But that's the color of it now. So what I'll do is I'm going to bring it back up to a boil, and then I'll let it go. I'll bring it up to a boil, and then I'll cut it off and let it cool down a little bit, and then I'll start canning it. So I'll be doing a video of that, and I already have all my canning stuff ready. While I'm in here, I actually can show you that is my peppers that I did a video on how to harvest and dry peppers. So they're in my kitchen over my sink and drying. I'll be right back with another video on how to can. Thanks for watching, guys.